Let's talk about a man who never fails to spark controversy, Donald Trump. Whether you love him or hate him, the US president-elect has a knack for grabbing headlines. His latest, floating the idea of expansionism. Yes, Trump has suggested reshaping America's borders by targeting three very specific regions: Canada, Panama, and Greenland. Bold? Yes. Unreal? Most definitely. But there's a method to the madness, or at least Trump would like us to think so. So is this just another Trumpism, or does it reveal something deeper about his worldview and America's ambitions? Let's break it down. From neighbors to the 51st state, let's start with Canada, America's polite northern neighbor. Trump repeatedly suggested that Canada should become the 51st United States state. But you heard that right, Canada, a sovereign country under US control. He casually refers to the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau as the governor of the great state of Canada. If that wasn't audacious enough, he also hinted at pressuring Canada into joining the United States. This isn't the first time Trump has taken a jab at Trudeau. Remember the trade disputes during his presidency? Trump's expansionist remarks may just be another chapter in their rocky relationship, but it's clear Canada isn't amused with officials emphasizing their independence and sovereignty. What makes this more intriguing is the economic angle. Canada is rich in natural resources, a major trading partner for the United States, and a key player in global markets. For Trump, this move could bolster US economic dominance, but for Canada, it's a direct challenge to its sovereignty and economic independence. Next, Trump's fascination with the crown jewel of Arctic, which is Greenland. In 2019, during his presidency, he floated the idea of buying the massive Arctic island from Denmark. He called it a strategic acquisition, but why? Greenland isn't just a giant block of ice. Its location and resources make it incredibly valuable. Here's the deal. Greenland could play a critical role in America's defense strategy. The island offers a strategic vantage point for tracking Russian submarines moving through Arctic waters. Its location is ideal for monitoring potential massive launches from Russia or even China targeting the United States mainland. And perhaps most importantly, Greenland could help the United States counter any attempts by foreign powers to militarize the Arctic, a region becoming increasingly contested as ice melts and resources become accessible. But here's the twist. Denmark outright rejected the idea, calling it absurd. Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen famously said, "Greenland is not for sale." In true Trump fashion, he cancelled a state visit to Denmark in response. Now, years later, he's back to eyeing Greenland, claiming it could be a major win for the US, but is this really about strategy, or is it just another one of Trump's headlines-grabbing stunts? Finally, let's head south to Panama. Trump has suggested that the US should take back the Panama Canal. Built by the US in the early 20th century, the canal was handed over to Panama in 1999 under a treaty signed decades earlier. But Trump seems to think that was a mistake. He's expressed dissatisfaction with how the canal is being managed, especially the fees the US pays to use it. His rhetoric paints a picture of a leader nostalgic for a time when the US had control over critical global infrastructure. Unlike Greenland or Canada, this isn't just about strategy or economics, it's about national security. The canal is a vital artery for global trade and US military logistics. Losing control over such a critical point could, in Trump's eyes, compromise America's global influence. Trump's expansionist rhetoric touches on different dimensions of global power security, economics, and territorial dominance. Each of these regions symbolizes a different facet of how power is projected and preserved in the modern world. The Panama Canal represents control over global trade routes and military readiness, vital for national security. Greenland reflects the strategic importance of the Arctic, not just in defense, but also in preventing the militarization of a critical frontier by rivals like Russia and China. And then there's Canada, an economic powerhouse and close ally whose integration would completely reshape North America's economic and political landscape. While these ideas may sound audacious or even implausible, they reveal a broader trend, one where the lines between strategy, economy, and sovereignty are increasingly blurred. In a world of rising competition for resources, influence, and dominance, Trump's rhetoric, whether serious or symbolic, highlights how global power dynamics are shifting. The real question isn't about these proposals will materialize, but how they reflect America's evolving priorities and geopolitical challenges of the 21st century.